Change, collaboration, expectations, and more change. With change, there are things that come out of our control or outside of it therein that don't have to matter about our expectations. But what I'm going to here to bring you is a couple examples about change that could actually inspire you. There are collaborations that have existed throughout time that have inspired change in the best possible way. I dare say even a creative kind of change. For example, there have been crossovers between different comic artists who have teased each other to an extent that was actually going to give them the best kind of understanding how they were as their own artist, their own kind of artist, and their own way of being funny and creative. Now I'm going to zoom right back into change again, and I'm going to explain why I think that collaboration is a good example of change. There are things that we expect to happen in life that we shouldn't have to happen, and vice versa. Things that we don't expect to happen, but they still do. As per this, I think that one of the best ways to accept change is to have zero expectations. Like with the collaborations that we have existed in time, change happens in ways that we may not even anticipate, but they can still be in our favor. Like with a collaboration, it is a type of change where you can have not necessarily everything, doesn't have to be nothing, but it can be just this oddly specific right amount of things that happen to be just there, just at the right place and time. It doesn't even have to be the right place and time, but it still happens to be a beautiful form of creativity. And I'm being not even good at getting the examples, so mind me about that. But yeah, collaborations is a good creative form of change. And the changes that have happened in our lives, whether they meet expectations or not, they can still be good for us. Another form of good change is the idea of inspiration. So, as you may have noticed, the name Zelda isn't the name for the main hero Link, but it's for the princess. And where do you think that name comes from, by the way? It actually comes from a famous author's wife, whose name was, in fact, Zelda, a long time ago. And she was the name for the princess in the game, but that wasn't from thin air. Alongside that, the live-action fictional series, The Matrix, is inspired by anime directly as well. Maybe a little too directly, as the Sam Smith characters, including Neo as main protagonist, are inspired by the anime stylishnesses and cool factors of that kind of genre and medium, or rather just medium, not genre. But anyways, it's a beautiful thing to notice that these inspirations come not just from change, but from people's expectations that are limited or even nullified by not needing to expect anything to happen out of these things, and from truly being inspired from the creativity. If I'm using too many buzzwords, mind me, but this is just my best way of explaining how I think change, collaboration, creativity, inspiration, and having zero expectations could be for the best of both worlds. You won't have to have everything. You won't need to be having nothing. But if you have just the right amount of specifics, maybe odd at that point, you won't be ever disappointed by yourself or anything around you that has combined for the best of those worlds. Even if you're a die-hard minimalist, even you would know how to understand that having more doesn't have to always be bad, and having nothing doesn't have to exist either. Thank you for your time.